You're watching News Channel 8.
Morris Jones back with you with more news. Nearly 45 years after 2 American airmen were killed fighting in the Vietnam War, budget cuts threatened to take a toll on their funerals. That is, until a group of pilots intervened. Jay Korf has the remarkable story that stretches from Laos to Arlington National Cemetery by way of Manassas.
The weather is really beautiful. The sun was just coming up as we got to the airport.
Soon after the sun crested the horizon at Manassas Regional Airport, the last planes arrived. But these airshow pilots with the Warrior flight team,
here, that's the pull jet. That's the one you're in. Yeah.
who traveled here from across the country, like retired Lieutenant Colonel Art Knowles,
Did you already secure the cap on the top there? Okay.
did not show up to show off their gleaming war machines from bygone eras. They're here for a selfless tribute to 2 fallen airmen who these military veterans never knew.
We're bringing these heroes home, and I get to be a part of that.
In the summer of 1969, U.S. Air Force Majors Jim Sizemore and Howard Andre were shot down in their A-26 Invader during a combat mission over Laos. Sizemore's son James was 9.5 years old at the time.
Tragic, you know, the whole world came to a crashing end at that moment.
A generation of grief turned one day into hope. The crash site in Laos was discovered and excavated in 2012, and the bodies of both men were identified in April of 2013. Monday afternoon at Arlington National Cemetery, Major Sizemore and Andre, missing in action for more than 40 years, were buried with full military honors. So families who grieved longer than their loved ones were alive could finally say goodbye. The Air Force, though, citing budget cuts, declined months ago to perform a flyover at this rare dual burial for airmen killed in action. But when Warrior flight team leader Pat Marsh pitched the idea to his civilian pilots,
Basically, all of them said, hell yeah, I want in. I would be an honor.
after securing permission to fly in D.C. airspace from numerous agencies, including the FAA and Homeland Security, this band of 8 civilian pilots aboard vintage planes roared into action. The first plane to pass over Arlington National, a B-25 bomber. Moments later, 2 P-51 Mustangs flew astride an A-26 Invader, the same kind of plane that Sizemore and Andre crashed in. And lastly, 4 L-39s soared by with one peeling off in the missing man formation. At a reception after the service, James Sizemore thanked the pilots who volunteered to tell the last chapter in his father's life.
I feel overwhelmed, but I also feel so joyful and so glad, so proud that this day could happen.
Buried together in wreckage for more than 40 years, Majors Sizemore and Andre are now buried side by side.
The skies opened up, and you know, it's almost like those guys are up there watching us, and you know, up there with God making this happen.
Jay Korf, News Channel 8.